You are now listening to Talk Your Jits podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Talk Your Jits podcast. This podcast is, as the name implies, all about jiu-jitsu. I'm your host, Lamar Smith, and today's guest is a 4-stripe purple belt that trains at Premier MMA, located in Maryville, Indiana. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Beatty.
Hey there, how are you?
I'm going good. It's going good, man. How are you today?
Doing really well. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, man, no problem, man. It's definitely my pleasure to have you on here. So, yeah, let's give the people what they want. Go ahead and let us into your jiu-jitsu journey.
Absolutely. It's one of the favorite things to talk about. So what you want to know?
Everything, how you started, how you got into it, and everything else in between.
Sure. I've been doing martial arts since I was little, but I'd taken a little bit of a break there for a while and had my son doing martial arts and ended up going to a gym in Maryville, Indiana. Actually, at the time, it was in Crown Point, Indiana, which is a neighboring thing. And I loved this gym. It was just catching to me. And it was this very similar to the gym that I was in college, but I had never done jiu-jitsu. I'd only done kung fu and kempo karate. That's all I'd ever done before. And so this gym, though, reminded me of the kung fu studio that I was in college. And it struck me, and I was just like, you know what? Let's back up a little bit. When I was in kung fu, I'd broken my jaw. And I got my jaw broken. And had it wired shut and stuff. And I was in college. I was married at the time, too. I was in college. But that was a pretty expensive bill for two college students to be paying for.
Yeah.
And so my wife says to me, she goes, you know, we're not doing this martial arts thing anymore, right? It's like, we're just not doing it. It's too expensive. It's like, yeah. So I made a promise to her that I wouldn't do any martial arts. 20 years later, my son's in martial arts in this gym, this jiu-jitsu gym, and I'm loving it. It's reminding me of the gym that I broke my jaw in. And I'm like, I'm loving this gym. And I'm like, oh, and so I was like, just kind of like, you know what? And I said, hey, honey, I love this gym. I want to go back. I've never done jiu-jitsu before. I want to go back and train at this gym. What do you think about that? And she was like, well, whatever you want to do. Okay. And that was 7 years ago, and I've been going ever since for the last 7 years.
Nice.
Now I've had my fair share of injuries, you know, fingers and stuff, getting caught up in gis and broken. And then she told me, it was funny because she said, as long as you don't get those ears, those nasty, I was like, cauliflower ears.
Cauliflower ears.
Yeah. I was like, she goes, those are ugly. I was like, nah, I'll be just fine. 2 months later, I get my first cauliflower ear.
No.
So now I have cauliflower ear on both ears, but yeah, I was able to drain them quite a bit, and so they don't look that bad, but they're still noticeable. So, but it's funny. That's a funny story about that.
Oh my goodness. That's been my only fear about training, you know, is the cauliflower ear. Like, luckily I've never had them or never gotten them. Almost got them. One.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, they look so bad. But people wear them like a badge of honor. But
that's right. You know, some people get them, some people don't. Some people only get them in one ear. They don't even get them in both ears. So kind of crazy. But yeah, I got them in both ears. So one like literally within a couple months of doing jiu-jitsu, I got my first one, and then the next one came. My other ear started coming. Probably about a year later. So, but it's all right. They're all big, rough, and tough now. But since I drain them so well, I was draining them every other day.
Oh, wow.
They're flat. Well, I'm a doctor. I'm a veterinarian, so I was able to just do it myself. So I just drained it myself and kept draining it every other day. And they're flat. So I don't have these big bulbous ears or anything like that. They just don't. I don't have any angles to them. So.
Gotcha. Now, do you compete?
Yes, sir, I do. I compete quite a bit. I have no idea how as a white belt, I had 3 months in, I went to my first competition. I was in it, and I have horrible competition anxiety, and I didn't really realize that until I did it. I was about ready to throw up, cry, everything for like 2 weeks beforehand. Because it was like, I just started this. It was like, yeah, I've been in martial arts a long time, but it's like, not really, not for 20 years. And here I am 3 months in as a white belt, and I'm doing a competition. My coach looked at me and goes, "You okay?" I'm like, "I'll be fine." And he's like, and he told me later, he goes, he thought for sure I was going to get my butt kicked the first time out there. I actually got second place.
Nice.
My first jiu-jitsu tournament, had to compete against 4 guys, and I did pretty well. So, I lost in the finals to a guy that had been training for a year and a half. So I'm like, he was ready for his blue, and I was brand new white belt. So I did fairly well there, and I've been competing ever since. And so I've competed at Pans and at Worlds. Won Worlds last year, and Pans last year as purple belt, and then I won Pans the year before as a blue belt. So I've gone all the way to the top.
Nice. So, congratulations on that, man.
Thank you very much.
Like I've been dancing around the idea of competing like a lot. I've done one tournament before, and I'm hoping to do one in January. So it's just like trying to get into that, back in that, like trying to find that mindset of being a competitor. So like, how long did it take you to like finally be able to switch that competitive mindset on when it came to jiu-jitsu?
Well, like I said, I did it right away, like 3 months in, and I just kept going. And but to get to like the big time stuff, like IBJF, Pans and Worlds and such, it was several years. I just didn't feel like I could do it. I went to local tournaments and such like that, and it just eventually, I just kept going, which ended up getting rid of some of my anxiety. I still have it. I mean, I almost cried at my Worlds, right before my finals match. I almost cried, and then I did cry afterwards. It's like, all right, it's awesome, for different reason.
Right.
So I still have that, but it's nowhere near as bad. And the reason is in that situation, it's like I put too much emphasis on winning, too much emphasis on the result and such. Whereas like, if you do like some of these local tournaments and stuff, I'm just going there for fun. It's just like another day at the gym doing open mat, or going to somebody else's gym and doing open mat there.
Yeah.
And so I'm out there having fun. So it's a little bit different now than when I was a white belt and beginning blue belt, doing local tournaments, thinking, oh, I gotta win. Nah, you don't have to win. It doesn't matter. You're just going out there, testing yourself, testing your skills, seeing where you need to develop, and seeing new techniques that you don't get to see, and going full force, versus like at the gym. A lot of times you're in a situation at the gym where you're just calm and cool and collected, because this is the same guys that you roll with. You kind of know what this guy's going to do. You know what you're going to do. You start playing with stuff. It doesn't matter whether you win or lose. Whereas like in a competition, you don't know who's across from you. You don't know that guy until you get to the upper levels. Now it's like, now it's like I know some of the guys that I'm competing with. I'm in older divisions. I'm in the masters divisions. Mm-hmm. I know the guys. I've competed against them several times now. So and it's funny because like as a blue belt, I was aging out the next year, and the one guy goes, "Good, get out of here. I'm here for another 2 years. I'll see you in 2 years." So where it gets to be more of a camaraderie, even though it's a competition. So it takes several years. I mean, but some guys, even some white belts that we have at our gym, they're in it for fun. They don't care whether they win or lose. They don't have the pre-comp anxiety that I had. So, but even if you do have it, it's, you use it. It's a fear. So you use that fear, you use that adrenaline. As long as you don't have, like some of these younger guys, they have seven matches to do. By the 7th match, you're already burnt out just from the adrenaline dump. So, yeah. But that's kind of, it took years. It took several years before I managed my anxiety, but along the way I just kept going because it was fun.
Right, because I swore off tournaments a lot, and no particular reason. It was just like, and it didn't appeal to me to like compete. I was doing it to get healthy, to learn a martial art, just to kind of like at first it was like, just to kind of find something to do or whatever. But, as time goes on, fell deep in love with it. And I started watching more and more like jiu-jitsu tournaments. And it was just like, man, that looks fun. But it was just that inkling in the back of my mind, like, that's not what you're in it for. That's, it's you do it for the martial art. But when I finally did a tournament and I was masters and super heavy. So it was a very, very small list. It was like me and only one other guy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, did it. And I after the first match, it went so quick because I got destroyed. But
oh no,
yeah, it was pretty bad. But it was kind of like I obviously I didn't know what to expect because it was like literally my first tournament. So
right,
it was like I kind of went in the mindset like I'm just gonna go for the experience. Whatever happens, so on and so forth. But I got done. We had like 2 matches because it was only me and him, and I felt good. Like, yeah, I got beat. I got tapped twice, but I was like, man, this wasn't that bad.
Not that bad, right?
Not that bad. It's like you get on that roller coaster for the first time. It's like, you know what? It was a lot of twists and turns, and I almost threw up a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. I can see myself doing this again. So it just that little, I guess, competitive spark has been nagging at me. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna look up some tournaments and let's see what I can find that's gonna be in Michigan that's close by me, and we're just gonna start trying to do as many as we possibly can.
No, that's fine. That's wonderful, and it's everybody's journey is different. I mean, this all the jiu-jitsu is about is the journey. How you,
Yeah.
I mean, people talk about getting belts and stuff. It's like, once I got my purple belt for sure, it's like I didn't care anymore. It's like whatever. It is what it is. It's like, yeah, I wanted to get my purple belt. Now it's like when I get my brown belt, I'll get my brown belt. Probably be this next promotion. If it's not this next promotion, it'll be the next promotion. It's that's not what I'm in it for anymore. It's part of the journey. Same thing with competition. A lot of people are like you, where it's like, yeah, I'm not into competition, or yeah, that's not what I'm in this for. It's like, that's okay. It's not a big deal. That's not part of your journey. If it is part of your journey, make it the best that you possibly can.
Oh yeah.
The other thing with this is that if you're really not worried about, if you're not really concerned about get $2 piece of metal that you get, you can go to an open mat. That's the closest thing that you're going to get is going to some other gym that you don't know the people, that how they roll and stuff, and you go to their open mat and you roll with them, and you're not going to get that or at least I hope you don't go in there and go full force and try and kill everybody there at an open mat. You're there for a friendly thing, so you don't. But it's as close as you're going to get to seeing a different type of style that you're not used to, and then you can go to different open mats. There's been guys that have come through our gym that are traveling around the country. They stop at gyms every chance that they can get. We're a Carlson Gracie affiliate, so
Mm-hmm.
these guys go to Carlson Gracie gyms all around the country and trying to just seeing how many that they can get into with open mats and stuff. So that's another way of doing their journey. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's good for anybody.
Yeah, definitely. And what's funny is I call him my brother at this point because we've been training for like the last 5 years together.
Absolutely.
So we he's a brown belt and he'll be, hopefully, I think he will be, but he's like, well, we'll see when we get there. But he'll be testing for his black belt next year.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got my brown belt, and we're like in a position where we are like assistant instructors at the school.
Okay.
So we were just kind of like talking like, okay, eventually there's going to be a point where we're going to be like teaching a lot more than what we do now. We may do maybe like one class every couple months, if our instructor is has other plans, or he's like traveling or whatever, because he's been doing that a lot lately too. So we've been like doing classes every now and then, but we're like eventually we're going to be doing more classes, and we need to broaden our jiu-jitsu horizon. Like, yeah, we watch videos a lot and we discuss them and we kind of rep them together, but I think we should start venturing out and seeing other styles of jiu-jitsu to, I guess, to try to like change it up a little bit. So last year we were kind of planning on doing that, like just taking a road trip from Detroit to Upper Michigan and trying to hit as many gyms as we possibly can to kind of just get different type of experiences with rolling with other people.
For sure.
Because it's like, like I say, if you can find open mats, it's basically the same thing as competing, but it's a lot more lenient because that person you come into their school and they know you're not going to try to steamroll them or try to hurt them. You're just doing it for the love and experience.
For sure. The other thing that you can see is, like, especially from a teaching aspect, is seeing how other schools teach. Like, one of the coolest things I've done here is I went to Pedigo. I went to Pedigo Submission Fighting down in Mount Vernon, and seeing how Heath and his crew train and stuff, I was like, that's really cool. I'm going to take that back to my competition class. And sure enough, it's like, going back to my gym or whatnot. And I was like talking with the instructors there. I was like, hey, this is really cool. And I was teaching a class, and I was like, I did one of the things that I learned at Pedigo, one of the drills that they did. I did that at my thing because I took value in what they had to offer. And you can do that the same way. It's like when you make your trips around, just seeing how other people teach stuff. So it's pretty cool. I would recommend it. I've visited several different schools, so it's fun. So
yeah, that's our plan for the summer of 2023.
Cool.
So
I think it'll be cool.
I'm really excited.
It's gonna be fun. That'll be fun. That'll be kicking.
So you being a veterinarian, I would assume that's a very demanding job. And like, how do you find balance in work, home, and training? Because being a competitor, I know you train a lot. So
I do. So like right now, I haven't competed. I had a slight injury to my tibia and ended up not going to Worlds this year. So I've kind of been just laying back. I've still been going to class and such and still training, but not as heavily. But when I was training for like Pans and Worlds, I was doing 10 classes a week. So, but how I do it is that luckily with what I do is I'm a specialist. I do acupuncture and chiropractic on horses and dogs. And so I can do my schedule pretty tight so that I can actually make sure that I put into my schedule, I'm going to class this time, I'm going to training here, I'm going to training here. So I don't work weekends, I don't have emergencies, so it works out a little bit better for me even though I'm a veterinarian. Luckily, the other thing is that one of the black belts at the school, she started teaching this class when she was even a purple belt. She's also world champion and masters world champion. She has a 5 a.m. class. So,
nice.
So it works out that, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, she teaches a 5 a.m. class. So I get that in all the time. Like I typically go Tuesdays and Thursdays, even right now, even though I'm not training heavily, I go to her Tuesdays and Thursday classes because we got a good group of guys in there. We used to call it the dad's crew because it was just a bunch of old guys in there doing it. Now that I'm in there and a couple other big competitors are in that class, we've got some young guys coming in all the time now. It's like, hey, you got a 5 a.m. class? Hey, it's like, let's go. Got a couple world champions in our gym, and they're training at 5 a.m. We need to get in there and train at 5 a.m. We're like, all right, that's pretty cool. So it's pretty awesome. So that's how I get it started. 5 a.m. class was a big deal. And then I will train on Sunday. Sunday was always the competition class that we had there. And our coach really put us through the ringer on Sundays typically. And then Monday night is the big general class. And there will be times that he would not have any mercy on us. I'd go do a really tough, hard Sunday comp class and then come back and do a Monday class. Now, for somebody, I'm 52, and when I won Pans, I was day before my 50th birthday is when I won one of my first Pans, and so it's hard on me to do that. And then I laugh because like the Pedigo guys will do two a day, and then John Donaher's group, they'll do 2 a day every day. And it's like no breaks. It's like, okay, well, I feel cool because I'm doing 10 classes a week. These guys are doing way more than that. It's insane. So, but it's for schedule. Yeah, it's just easier because my gym does 5 a.m.s, and I just put it into my schedule that I had to train. I had to. If I wanted to win worlds, I had to put the training. I had to put the time in. And so I would do that. But I'd also, at my age, I'd also make sure that I would have rest days. I mean, I can't do what the Donaher boys do or what Pedigo boys do because my body I'm older. I just can't do it anymore. So I'll take Wednesdays off and Saturdays off, but every other day I'm training. Especially, and then for my Wednesdays and Saturdays when I was training, I wasn't going to jiu-jitsu, but I would be on my rower or I would be on a bike. I would be doing something that day just to keep my cardio up and just keep going that way for sure.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I miss our morning classes at my school.
Yeah.
Like we used to do Wednesday, Friday morning classes. And it was like me, the instructor, and it's just like one or two other people that would show up, and I would feel so good cuz like, man, what a great way to start a day by doing jiu-jitsu. Like there's no better way to like get the day going. But
hands down, I agree.
As time went on, it was just me and my instructor doing the morning classes. So it was kind of like, all right, well, it's a private. So we'll work some stuff, or we'll just kind of like go over some stuff that we went over like the night before. But then it was like, at this point, we're just kind of wasting time because it's just us two. Like we see each other Tuesday, and then we're going to get up Wednesday, and then, Thursday, and then Friday. So it was like, okay, we're just going to stop doing, morning classes. But I want to do morning classes again, but some of the guys I train were like, man, that's too early for jiu-jitsu. Like I can't get up that early. I'm like, man, me and my instructor, we joke about this all the time. Like it could be like 2-3 in the morning, and I'd be wanting to text him like, hey, let's get an hour in real quick, and he could be like, all right, man, let's go.
See, you got the training for competition. There you go. Just go. That's awesome. That is awesome, though. Yeah, you got your problem. Let's start the classes back up. You guys got to go.
I want to, but I need people to show up.
This is true.
Regardless of what, if I show up 5-6 in the morning at this gym, somebody's gonna get a workout. If it's just me by myself, or whoever shows up.
Yeah, but rolling with the dummy. That's what you got to be doing.
Exactly. Because when you said 5 o'clock, and I'm like, how my schedule was hectic now, because like in the mornings, I take my wife to work, and then I go to work, and it's like, man, 5 o'clock would be nice. I can get up about 4:30, go to the gym, get a good hour in. By the time I get back, she'll just be getting up, so I ain't cutting into nobody's schedule. I just might have to do that.
That's why we do that. It's like, we got a bunch of guys that work at the mills, because we've got steel mills up near Gary, Indiana, and so we got those guys coming in, and they have to be at work at 7, so they get in at 5. They're done at 6. They go to work. Works out really well. For me, it works really well because typically my first appointment's not till like 9 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. So this is gonna make you jealous. This is what I do. I get up at 4:30. I go work out till 6. I'm home. I'm showered by 6:30. I crawl back in the bed.
I'm a little jelly.
I crawl back in the bed and sleep for a half hour. Get up at 7 o'clock. Life will be much better. I mean, I'm telling you, that half hour, even if I don't fall asleep, even if I just lay there like meditate or just relax and chill, it is the best half hour of my day. Right after jiu-jitsu, it's pretty awesome.
That's definitely awesome. But like being a guy your age, like how would if we just say if this was like 30 years ago, 20 years ago, like would you like have ever imagined you being like so committed to jiu-jitsu that even at your age, you're still pushing as hard as you're pushing now?
Probably not. I don't, because if I would have at that point in time, see, I push at whatever I do pretty much. So, so I guess if I would have went into it, I mean, that's how I got my jaw broken in kung fu. It's like, same thing. It's like I'm pushing hard. So if I was pushing hard in jiu-jitsu back then, yeah, my body probably would have taken a pretty huge beating by then. It's like it's getting hurt now. Back 20 years ago or whatnot, that would have been, yeah, I would have my black belt by now, and I would have probably been instructing and stuff. But the competition thing probably would have been long gone for me. I don't know, because I still see some guys in the black belt levels that are, my age, still competing heavily. I mean, they've been black belts for years, so maybe not. I don't know.
Because I turned 35 this year, and I still sit back and I think like, man, I would have never thought in a million years like I would be doing this, because I see people, my age and sometimes even younger, that's, just don't do anything. Like they're not active. They just sit down and just eat all day, and it's like, my God, like we're the same age, and I look twice as younger than you. Like, what's going on, man? Like, how could you, accept that? But me, like, till this day, I'm still surprised. Like, I get up, I go to the gym, I train. I go to Planet Fitness 3 days a week. I train 2 days a week. So I'm trying to get more in. If someone wants to do a private or whatever, I still do that. I'm busy like every single day, but I love it.
That's good. That's good. You found your passion.
Especially when it comes to jiu-jitsu, like whatever I can do jiu-jitsu related, I'm all for it. Like 100%. Like 100% all for it.
Well, that's for me. Like, here's the thing. It's like that's my retirement plan. I'm not planning on retiring. I'm planning on teaching jiu-jitsu. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
So I can still see myself competing, doing Master 7, Master 8. I could still see myself doing that. So, I don't know. It'd be fun.
Man, so am I, man. Like, being a brown belt, I just got my brown belt in October.
Congrats.
And thank you. And just think like, man, I'm, just one more step from black belt.
Yep.
But I'm like, I'm so excited because I'm excited, and at the same time it's kind of like, wow, man, that kind of sucks, because we test for each belt, and we have to show a certain a certain amount of like techniques, and we do self-defense portions and stuff like that, and it's like, wow, I only got one more to do. But yeah, just the thought of like what happens after black belt, like, yeah, I would eventually love to open my own school, and teach as much as I possibly can, train as much as I possibly can, and hopefully still be doing this podcast as long as I possibly can, because if this can blow up like I'm hoping it will, and I could just do this and train, I'll be happy.
Would that'd be awesome.
That'd be so awesome. Just sit down and talk about jiu-jitsu all day, and just get up and go do jiu-jitsu all day. That sounds like a sweet life.
That sounds awesome. That sounds pretty cool. Ask Joe Rogan.
Man, I'm telling you, exactly. Because I've, since I've started this, I've done like 7. No, this is my 17th interview.
Okay.
So far since I started, and I started this at the beginning of the month. And
wow.
Just the amount of people that I've talked to from different rankings, like, brown belt, white belts, black belts, and just the amount of like support and like excitement that people has gotten when I tell them about this stuff. Like, yeah, I'm doing a podcast about jiu-jitsu. You guys want to talk about it? Well, hell yeah.
Count me in.
Like, count me in. And
we're the same passionate type of people as you are. That's what it is. We all love this.
Cause like with me, like, my wife, she's back into training. My daughter trains, and besides the people that I train with, there's not a lot of people around me that does jiu-jitsu. But it's like, man, I just want to talk about jiu-jitsu all day. And then you just meet people that's like, man, I want to talk about jiu-jitsu all day too. So, so hell, why not?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's pretty cool.
So,
It's a good dream. Good dream. I think you'll make it.
man, I appreciate it, man. That's what I'm hoping. So, you said your son trains too, right?
He used to. He's autistic, and he was really good at his old school. And then we switched to this new gym, and this is the gym that I fell in love with. Right. Well, at this old gym, he was kicking everybody's butt, like beating everybody's butt. It was not a true traditional jiu-jitsu place. And then I'd heard about a true jiu-jitsu place. We brought him there. He was a white belt. We have a bunch of fighters at our gym. I mean, some badasses at our gym. And so he was going there. He went from the best in the school to getting his butt kicked now. It's like, yeah, because you're still just a white belt. I don't care what kind of belt you had at this other gym. It was nothing like this stuff here. So, and he knew quite a bit. He was really good, especially at Nogi. He was really good at Nogi stuff. But eventually, he just kind of, he was a teenager at that point in time, and high school was just tough for him, especially being a high functioning autistic kid. And he keeps telling me, he says, I'd like to go back. I'd like to go back. I was like, okay, well, we can go back anytime. Come on now. He still lives at home. He's 21 now. He still lives at home, but, and he works, but I keep telling him, I was like, hey, you can get up in the morning with me. We can go to evening classes or whatnot. He's like, sure. And then he doesn't have that passion anymore. He just kind of lost it a little bit, but that's what, he never even got his blue belt. I was like, oh man.
It definitely still sounds like he has it. He just kind of needs that extra little nudge.
Right.
Hopefully, man. But yeah, I really do hope that he gets back gets back into it.
It would be cool if he did. So, but now he's just like, well, Dad's so high at it. It's like, it's fine, buddy. It doesn't matter. It's like he's just, I don't know. He has a little bit of competitive edge as well, because he used to be, really good. He used to be able to kick Dad's butt. Now I can't kick Dad's butt.
So now the tables has turned.
The tables have turned, right? It's pretty funny.
Yeah, my daughter, she just turned 7, but she's been she's been training for like the last month or so. And
is she loving it?
Man, she is. And just the excitement on her face, like, as a matter of fact, like today, right before she went to bed, she's like, Daddy, are we going to training tomorrow? I was like, yeah, we're going to training. She's like, okay, because I really want to go because I missed last week. I was like, yes,
great, that's great.
Because when she started, because she would usually come to me with come to me to classes. Yeah, she used to come with me to classes every now and then after a while we kind of introduced kids class back. So I was like, oh well, she's old enough now. So I'm like, hey, you want to start coming to class? And she's like, yeah. And she just been hooked ever since.
That's awesome. Good for you, man. That's cool. I love it. I love that she has it. She wants to go. That's great.
Because even before she started training, I brought her with me to my first, to the first tournament.
Yeah.
And we was there early. It was like 7, 8 in the morning, and she saw all the kids, running around with their gis on, and she's like, oh, they wearing what you wear. I was like, yeah, they train. And she's like, oh, she's like, I want to train. I was like, okay, if we get kids class back, yeah, we'll start training. But she haven't seen them compete yet. So I'm thinking maybe when she gets a little bit actiony, she might change her mind. But no, she said, I still want to do that. So I'm like, oh, okay. Okay.
It's funny because like the kids we have a good kids team also. And it's like when they lose, it's like they're so upset about it at the time, but they're resilient. They're like, I'm ready to go back again. Yeah, I'm going to go try again. I'm like, okay, very cool. So yeah. So they're very resilient about it. So it looks scary, especially to an adult, and they're thinking about losing. The kids don't think that way. They kind of live in the now. And it's like, it's like eventually I'm going to get it. I'm going to win. Eventually I'm going to win. Okay. So I don't know. That's been my experience with them.
Yeah, seeing some of these kids, man, compete. I mean, it's. I've talked about this on like quite a few episodes about kids competing. Those kids are, kids are so badass when it comes to jiu-jitsu. Cause they're young, they have really nothing to really worry about, what school and now training 2-3 days a week. But these kids are savages, man.
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah, I mean, think about it. You got somebody out there that's probably a kid right now that's training pretty heavily that will end up beating Gordon Ryan. It's like there's got to be a kid out there because they're so savage. Just like you said, they are skilled beyond belief. Dude, I can't even do that.
I know. I'm like, man, I wish I could have started at your age. Imagine what I would be.
Besides, I'll beat up and broken up.
Right. Besides beat up and broken up, but I'll be pretty awesome. Skilled.
That'd be awesome. That's right.
Be pretty awesome.
I mean, you look at the Rutulo brothers and stuff, and it's like how far they've come. They're babies still. I mean, they're like 18, 19, 20 years old. I mean, they're young.
And then there was I can't remember the kid's name. He's like 16 years old.
Cole Abate. Isn't that Cole Abate? Yeah.
That dude's a monster.
Yeah, I think he got his brown belt. But yeah, he's too. Mika Galvao, same thing. Or all those guys.
Yes.
Like that whole team. I'm like, wow, those guys are going to be awesome. I mean, they're awesome already.
These dudes are scary at this young age. 15, 16, 18 years old. Just destroying, like walking through people. It's not like oh man, he got the best of you because he's bigger. Like, no, you're walking through people.
And they're beating men. They're beating guys in their 20s, late 20s.
Adults with bills. Like,
that's right. It's like, holy cow.
Oh man.
So
that's awesome.
Those young kids like your daughter's age, up to like 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. I mean, that's the next generation. If this generation of the Rutulo brothers and Galvaos and stuff and Cole Abate are doing that good, the 12, 13-year-olds that are coming behind them are going to be just that much better.
Oh man, I can only imagine. And I'm hoping I can be around just to see a taste of it.
For sure.
See what this beyond next generation, man, what they're going to be capable of. Because I've seen some kids at tournaments that I'm like, oh, I didn't want to be a creep and be like, hey, I need to follow your career. Where's your mom? I need to, talk to them. But like, I'm like, oh, I hope you stay with it.
Yeah.
Because I seen this one little girl at a tournament, and when I tell you, like, usually with kids tournaments, it's like, it doesn't matter. It's a boy versus girl versus girl, whatever. So it's just usually by age, and the kid that she was going against was a little bit bigger than her, and he had about like a good 10-some pounds on her, and she had no fear. She just looked him straight in the eyes, slap bumped, and just went to work. Smooth, straight blast double, and went to town on this little kid.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, because like usually when you see like I see like kids like train or like how they're on the competition, you can tell they rep like a certain thing. Like if you're on top, this is what you do. So like one kid, for example, he would get top, and when a kid tried to buck him off, he'll fix his base and slap the mat to make sure that he's in the right position. So it's like, okay, they worked that. But this girl, she was flowing and moving natural.
Wow.
Like straight splash double, straight to top. The kid put his arms up to try to like push her back down. She swimmed over to an arm bar, and the rest was history. I was like, me and my training partner was just sitting here looking like, how old is this little girl?
Yeah.
Man, these jiu-jitsu kids are like the new soccer kids, man.
That's right. It's pretty awesome. It's like whatever passion that they have, and if they have a passion for this game, that's awesome. And they're gonna go far with it. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we shall see. I mean, that's only a few years away.
Right, because they can compete at what? Is it? How old can they compete?
Like at teen? I mean, at the adult divisions?
Not talking about like the kids in general. Like,
how old are the kids? I don't know. I really don't know. 7, 8? I don't know.
All right,
We gotta look that up.
My daughter just turned 7. I'm gonna have to get up at 5 in the morning. Like, come on, we're about to go to the gym before you go to school.
See, our gym, we have a limit 10 years of age. You have to be 10 years to be at our gym. So, just the coach, just the younger kids sometimes. I mean, you got a 7-year-old daughter, you know what it's like. You know, some of them are, especially if they don't want to be there. The parents have told them to be there. It's difficult.
Just kind of just dump them off.
Yeah, dump them off. It's difficult. So that's why he's like 10 years and above. That's it. If you're under 10, you're not coming here. So I don't know what the youngest age is to compete, but I would bet it's 7 or 8. I mean, some of those kids are little, really little.
Yeah, really little. I think with our school, I think it's 7, but it's kind of like, okay, if they can comprehend what's going on, then we'll give them a shot if they're a little bit younger. But yeah, no younger than 6 or 7 years old. We don't. Yeah.
Right.
Because at that point, we're just talking to a brick wall.
Right.
So yeah, we just do like 6 or 7. But yeah, if you got any questions for me, if you want to, like, definitely shout out your school. If you got any competitions or anything you got coming up, man, the floor is all yours.
Well, thank you, man. That'd be awesome. I have, to be honest with you, I have nothing coming up. We'll see what's going to happen in the end of the year already here. I might do Pans next year. That's in March. But if I get my brown belt, I probably still will do it. Team Cologne. That's our MMA thing, and a lot of times we go under the banner of Team Cologne, even at Jiu-Jitsu. Premier MMA is the name of our business of the school, but realistically, we all just say Team Cologne. So, and I don't know. I don't really have much of anything else going on besides, like I said, end of December will be belt promotions. We'll see if I get my brown. Pans next year. I have nothing else going on right now. Nothing else. And the team finished up at Naga this last weekend here, and they did it in Illinois, in Chicago, and the kids came in second. Like the kids as a team, our team came in second for that. So That was pretty cool. Yeah. So probably go down and visit Pedigo, and during the off season, basically here. Love those guys. They're only a 4-hour trip for me, so that's not that bad. Spend some time with them. They're kicking butt on the tournament thing. Other than that, not much. So where's your school at? Where exactly is your school at?
My school is H2O Martial Arts, located in Oak Park, Michigan.
Oak Park, Michigan. Okay. How far are you from Chicago then?
It was about 4 hours.
You're near Detroit then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So yeah, you're about 4 hours from me. So that's not that far either. See, I could come visit you instead of going to Pedigo.
Yeah, man. I would love to have you, man. We'll definitely welcome you with open arms, man.
That'd be cool. That'd be awesome. So thank you for the opportunity to come on your podcast, dude. It's awesome.
Oh man, I appreciate it. But yeah, that's the end of today's episode. I would like to thank Daniel one more time for coming on and sharing his experiences with us, and I hope you guys took something from that. Please go and follow our Facebook and Instagram page to stay up to date on all future episodes. This has been Talk Your Jits podcast. Keep rolling, keep grinding, and remember, long live Jiu-Jitsu. Have a great day.